Well, welcome to West Aleppo. That's the government-controlled side of this city. East Aleppo is a few hundred meters just behind me. And for all Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump's talk of what they would do once they get to the White House to intervene or not in this Syrian war, it might be irrelevant as far as this city is concerned, because a terrifying countdown has begun today. The Syrian and Russian Air Force dropped these leaflets over East Aleppo, telling people that from 9 a.m. tomorrow morning until 7 p.m, that is their last window to leave East Aleppo. The threat is of all-out war. And remember that Russian aircraft carrier steaming that went past through the English Channel? Well, it is now understood to be off the coast of this country with all its jets ready to strike. Now, at the same time, the rebels also mounted their second phase of their counterattack, trying to link up their territory outside the city with that enclave of East Aleppo. And they have caused heavy casualties today, both amongst civilians and the Syrian armed forces. They kept on coming. The rebel offensive has intensified, and the government side is taking a lot of casualties. The emergency room at the main hospital was chaotic, as ambulance after ambulance brought in civilians caught in the fighting. Ayman Duba was hit by shrapnel in a mortar attack in West Aleppo. Is this what it's like every day?
بشكل يومي متكرر بين المتقطعات بس أكثر شيء اليوم الصباح الباكر.
What sorts of injuries are you seeing?
في شظايا متفجرة وفي قذايا وفي قناص.
By mid-afternoon, they'd seen 39 injuries and 7 civilian deaths here. The military casualties go to another emergency unit off limits to us. By the entrance, we caught a glimpse of Syrian army and Lebanese Hezbollah being taken in. But the Syrian military believe they, or perhaps their Russian allies in truth, are about to take decisive control here. Joseph is one of the soldiers posted in Aleppo's old city. Built between the 12th and 16th centuries, it's been utterly destroyed. As we ventured in, we passed, but were not allowed to film, Russian soldiers going to the front line. All that artillery fire that we can hear, what's happening?
تمهيد لمعركة كبيرة بدها تصير عنا بحلب الغربية وبحلب الشرقية، لأنه بتعرف أنت بكرة عطوهم يعني مهلة للمصالحة الوطنية، بعد إذا ما طلعوا المسلحين من جوا خلصت المهلة تبعهم، بده يصير يعني حرب مفتوحة على المسلحين.
Taking us across areas they believe are in sight of rebel snipers, we got as close as possible to the heart of the city. That's the citadel, the historic centre of Aleppo, over which both sides have fought, and those booms that you can hear are artillery being fired by the Syrian government against the rebels who have been trying to break in and link up with East Aleppo over there. But the countdown has begun for the civilians in East Aleppo, because they've now been told that they've got to get out by Friday night. Then, says Joseph, it's all-out battle against what he and his president call the terrorists. And key to it will be the news that the Russian aircraft carrier, with dozens of warplanes on board, is understood to now be in place off the coast. You come from Latakia, it's a beautiful place. How did you end up in this hellhole?
اللي جابني سبب واحد إنه هو استشهاد أخوي، جيت لحارب محله. يعني استشهد بالشام وأنا جيت لأخذ بتاره بحلب.
How do you feel about the civilians in East Aleppo?
شو بنقول غير الله يعينه. الله يفرج عن أهل البلد، يعني وعن أهلها وعن شعبها وعن ناسها، على جميع سوريا، ما بس حلب. الله يعين العالم. هيك اللو.
Before the bombs came wartime confetti in elegant circles, messages to East Aleppo. And those are the leaflets that are just being dropped by the Air Force that they hope will land on East Aleppo, telling them a stark warning that this is their last chance. They've got to get out. Aleppo's green buses will be waiting tomorrow morning to bring civilians to the government side. Their deadline to leave, 7 p.m. And if anyone in the east trusts the offer of this humanitarian corridor, they will find a very different city on the other side. The people there are being told to leave tomorrow. Do you think they will be welcome over here?
اكيد مليون في المية راح يتم استقبالهم كويس ممتاز كثير بس هدوليك ما راح يعطوهم مجال انه يطلعوا لهون، راح يتمسكوا فيهم لاني لسه لازمهم درع بشري، يحطوهم درع بشري يتخبوا فيه.
Fighters on both sides ignored tonight's call to prayer as Aleppo approaches its final battles. The US election feels a world away, and in any case, whoever wins may well be too late to make any difference. The big question as this countdown approaches is, will the civilians inside eastern Aleppo decide to leave? Will they dare to? The last time the government offered this, very few people took them up on it. Now, earlier today, we spoke to one resident over there in the besieged east, Wissam Zaka, an English teacher, and he said residents will not leave. They will not take advantage of this humanitarian window because they fear being detained when they leave as terrorists.
For most people, it would be difficult, in fact, because, like, take me as an example, I am a teacher. If I go there, I would be arrested because I would be considered a terrorist. So, like, most people here work with charities. If you are a teacher or a nurse, a doctor, that's a crime. So, like, if we go there, we might be arrested. We might be tortured to death, in fact. Here you might be killed, there you'll be killed for sure. It's too risky to go there. It's like, people here are living in their homes. If they go out, where would they live? Right, we are under shelling, but like, this is our homeland. The people I know could have already left, but they've chosen to stay here. They would say, okay, let me die because of shelling and not die because of cold or because of hunger. That's why the other options are not better anyway.
What's also unclear is what the rebels who are just outside Aleppo and trying to break in will do tomorrow. Will they pause their offensive or try and push on? Today, their attacks have been ferocious. There have been explosions throughout the day, constantly. And there are some images that have emerged of two attacks. The first one shows what appears to be a rebel tank attacking a Syrian military academy. There have also been, it's believed, 4 suicide attacks from amongst those rebels in the new Aleppo area. And Syrian forces took many losses as a result of that. That's the picture inside Aleppo tonight.